Good evening and welcome to the Titlis Glacier World Women's Curling Championship, coming to you live from the Volvo Sports Centre, Riga, Latvia. I am Kenny Edwards and we'll be bringing you live coverage of Latvia versus Japan. So, in the commentary booth this evening, I am joined by Logan Gray.
Good evening, Kenny.
Thanks, Logan. So, expect to see an interesting encounter as we take a look at the teams.
Yeah, here we have the Japanese lead, Jackie Matsumura. Second, Emi Shimizu. Third player, Mio Ichikawa. And skip and fourth player, Satsuki Fujisawa. And the Latvian team, Dasa Munsa, Zanda Bikse, Yeva Krusta playing third, and Iveta Stasa Satsuna, the skip for the Latvian side. Here we have the current standings after 4 draws. Switzerland, Germany and Sweden, the only teams remaining undefeated so far this week. While Latvia, Italy and China, they need to get winning pretty soon if they want to figure in the playoff stages later on in the week. Elsewhere on the pad this evening, we have Germany and Scotland on sheet A, Sweden and United States on sheet B, and Canada and Denmark on sheet C. Of course, our featured game is between Japan and Latvia. And Japan will be playing the red stones and wearing the navy blue tops, while Latvia will be wearing the white tops and playing the yellow stones. Japan will start the game after losing the last stone draw at the end of the practices.
Yeah, Latvia managing to draw fully forfeit, and Japan only managing a piece of the 8. So,
no, we saw Japan be pretty defensive early on in the game this morning against Denmark. And they're going to go into the rings again in the first end here against Latvia. Latvia were also pretty keen to keep it tight early on against Canada this afternoon. Dasa Munsa, the 41-year-old, playing lead stones for Latvia. Kenny, obviously, it's just a couple of hours ago we finished up their game against Canada. Where do you think that they'll need to improve to get their first victory on the board this week?
I think they need to maybe look at every game and say, okay, it doesn't matter how many you lose by. You've got to at least have a go. Don't come off the pad and say you only lost by 2. It doesn't really matter how many you lose by. You still lose the game. So I think they maybe need to get that mentality out of their head.
Well, you know what, Kerry, when they actually started to play some more aggressive curling and taking some more risks against Canada, they actually put them under pressure at times. So maybe an idea, just do it a little bit earlier and take some chances.
So that one just hitting and rolling to the 8 foot. So a similar end to what we've seen this morning. Latvia not getting too involved. It's probably sensible.
This is Emi Shimizu playing second stones for Japan. So this is an interesting call here with the last stone, deciding to take a little risk here and go for the freeze out on the wing. No guards in play. Zander Bikshet. This is quite a tough shot to start the game for Bikshet. Must be feeling pretty confident with the ice conditions.
I think this is more the way Latvia play the game. They really get a lot of stones in play and make it quite messy, and that's maybe what they didn't get the opportunity to do earlier today.
Would you call a freeze there, Kenny?
No, you just blast that one, and even if you run out of play.
Well, certainly something we were complimenting Rachel Homan on earlier on is her ability to control the scoreboard, and really considers that even right in the first end. Always very happy to blank the first end and get the hammer in the even ends.
Yeah, so second player for Latvia, Xandra Bikshi. Again trying the freeze. A little shy for weight, but puts it up ahead of the red stone, so a slight mistake from Japan. Could run that one back onto the red. It would hang around and Latvia would get the chance to split the house. Mio Ishikawa for Japan. Manages to remove the yellow. So expect Latvia to get a little bit closer with this one. They know what the ice is doing now.
Yeah, such a tough shot though to make the deuce. But they've got pretty close this time. Super draw there. So nothing too fancy required here, just going to try and peel this one out. Well, even manages to keep that red stone intact. Good shot there by Ishikawa.
So Latvia continuing to throw the freeze. And it does sit short and it is in front of the red, so again asking the question.
Satsuki Fujisawa again with the takeout here.
quiet way. Does squeeze it past. I would have liked to see that red roll right out of play. That means that Latvia have a bit of cover in front of that now. If they could just get half in behind, make it really difficult for Japan to remove it.
Yeah, this is a much better spot to go for the freeze than the wide open one.
Viņam ir jābūt pirms tā otrā. Pirms tā, aizmugurējā. Jā, protams. Seši ir asti.
So here is our first look at Iveta Stasa Sarsunet.
This one looking pretty good. Oh, that's great by the skipper. Just throws that one right down on top. And now Japan, really no option but to play the freeze themselves. If they don't get this right, they'd be staring a 2 in the face, really from nothing. So some positive play from Latvia so far in this end.
Okay, so now a tough freeze needs to be returned here for Fujisawa. Looked very much like we were going to have a clean first end, but Latvia managing to work an opportunity here.
Weight so crucial with this one.
Looking pretty close here. Oh, super freeze. Great shot by Fujisawa. And I think Latvia will be forced to just draw for one here.
Yeah, I think so. Just ignore it and draw the 8 foot for your single shot.
Varbūt vajadzēja šito pusi mest. Tā ir izmērta. Būs labi. Sešinieks būs labi. Seši? Jā.
So final stone of the first end. 8 foot draw for Latvia to try and pick up the single. The sweeper's going to have to go hard if they're going to get a piece of the 8 foot. That one's going to pull up short, so it will be a steal of 1 for Japan here in the first. They lead 1-0.
One end played here this evening. Draw 5 from the Volvo Sports Centre. And Japan leading Latvia by 1-0. Nice crowd in here again this evening. And a really good tight centre guard goes up to get the second end underway.
Jā, viņš ir beržams visu ceļu. 55. Jā, jau viņš kā. Jā, jā, please.
So you see Matsumura throwing that one just into the 8-foot there.
Well, I'm assuming that it was a mistake from the Latvian lead. We're looking for a corner guard, slipped into the rings, and of course they don't get the opportunity to use the free guard zone if you have the hammer and you throw a stone into the house. Yeah, we're just trading some hits here out on the wing.
Yeah, just a nose hit. Quite comfortable. Latvia will probably try and look to roll in behind the tight guard with this one.
Actually, this entire Latvian team has played in the World Women's Championships before, 2010 in Swift Current. But they did actually finish rock bottom that week, 12th. Looking for a better performance here. Here's Eve Muirhead, who will also be looking for a better performance after taking a real thrashing from Sweden earlier on today. Off in 6 ends there. And taking on the undefeated Germans, needs the forfeit to score. This one's going to drift right through the 8-foot, and a really soft steal of 1 to start the game. One end played there between Germany and Scotland, and Germany leading by 1-0. Latvia with no interest in playing around the centre guard. They're going to try and hit and roll to a corner. Oh, that's a disaster, Kenny.
Yeah, that's maybe just a lapse of concentration, I think.
I think if you're making a play in the centre guard, don't mess around too much. You can hit and roll to a corner with a little bit more weight than that and still guarantee going out of play. Or you can just play the straight peel.
As we take a look at Mio Ishikawa for Japan. Asking a lot of her sweepers, all 3 in helping this one down. They do get it level though. Perfect stone position.
Now Latvia with some work to do here in the second end if they don't want to get forced to just score the one. Trying to make a big roll across the house. If they could ever sit on the tee line here in behind, that would be a great spot. Actually rolls a little bit too far, but still in a pretty good spot, Kenny. There's Japan coach Hatomi Nagoka. So a big team scrub here by the Japanese, trying to drag this one down into the circles. Doesn't manage to do so. Look at that big team effort. Arms and brushes flying everywhere. But doesn't manage to do enough to get it into the house. So a good aggressive call here. I like this, going around the guard. There's a possibility to play a takeout and lie too, but I think they can put more pressure on the Japanese by playing the drop.
Oh, this one looks as if it's got too much porridge on it. And that one will drift through. So the mistake from Japan has gone unpunished. I think if I was Japan, I'd be playing the in-turn draw rather than the out-turn, generally because if you hit and roll from the out-turn, you would go in behind that red, possibly still sit short. If you go the other way, there's absolutely no cover. Do you agree with me there, Logan?
Yeah, I think so, but there's certainly sufficient curl on the ice to still get a good bury, but maybe just gives you that little extra safety net. Still trying to work out, Kenny, if that draw had too much porridge or too much rice. Soon be getting rice shoveled towards us at every opportunity here in the Volvo Sports Centre.
So there we see the bench. Ko Strazuk.
Kenny did leave a little edge just poking out here, so maybe an opportunity, like you said, to make that hit and roll over behind the redstone on the other side.
So, a mistake there, just clicks that one in behind. And if Japan can get round in on top of this, on the top of the forefoot, They're going to look good through a possible 3 or 4 maybe here in the second end.
Well, this is actually a great chance now. Fujisawa trying to wrap another one around the centre. They can take this one as far in as they like, but they would like to outcount that yellow on the other side.
Yeah, they do enough, so they do sit 3.
Well, they have done enough, Kenny, but at the same time, probably not done as much as they would have hoped. That stone not really improving the situation too much for Japan, other than to give them another shot in there, maybe preventing any sort of double takeout off the wide one, which I don't think Latvia could throw the weight to make it anyway. But I think they'd really like to get in there to the 4-foot circle and really put some pressure on. So final stone of the second end. Stasa Sarsuna needs to find a piece of the 1-foot circle to score here in the second end. Big effort with the sweeping again. Oh, and this is a disaster, Kenny. Can't quite believe it. And it's a steal of 3 here in the second end. Japan off to a flying start here in this evening draw. And after 2 ends, it will be Japan 4, Latvia 0.
So welcome back to the third end. You're watching live coverage from the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships, coming to you live from the Volvo Sports Centre, Riga, Latvia. I am Ken Edwards, and I'm joined by Logan Gray for a game between Japan and Latvia. It's Japan leading 4-0 through 2 ends.
Well, Kenny, the story's been 2 missed draws to finish the ends by Stasa Sarsuna. Just wonder if there's maybe that number 8 stone's a little bit slower. I don't know if the Latvian team will be the best at picking up any rogue stones in there. Could well be. They don't really have that kind of experience at this level. Only their second time at the World Women's Championships. Having said that, Japan, this is their first outing at the World Championships for this team. Okay, so not the best set up there by the Japanese lead. One behind the tee line and one not on the centre line. So Kenny, what kind of tactics will Latvia need to employ to get themselves into this match?
Well, they'll have to throw the corner guard and try and play the real aggressive type game. You'll see Japan playing the take-out game, try to get rid of the guards early on, whereas Latvia playing the quiet touch shots. So we are going to chop over to sheet C. Canada, Denmark. Denmark leading 2-0. Rachel Holman with a chance to level things up. Supers having to go hard on this one. Are they going to do enough to hold it straight? Hit. And will it hang around in the 8 foot? It just does. And it will be a score of 2 for Canada. And that game is tied 2 each through 2 ends.
Yeah, Rachel using every inch of the 8 foot circle there, but doing enough. And as usual, Rachel Holman scoring in the even ends. So good at controlling the scoreboard. Back in our featured game, Japan and Latvia. Japan off to a great start, leading by 4 shots to 0. However, Latvia lying a pair here in the 3rd end. A super hit and roll to get all the way across the 4 foot. Well, there's definitely a chance here for Latvia to come around and make a freeze.
Yeah, what handle would you take at this slogan? Would you take the in turn or the out turn?
Well, if they're playing a tap back, they also have to go on the in turn. They can see a piece on that side. But for me, I'd quite like to see a freeze on the out turn. Set up an angle going away from their back stone.
So great tap back, just curls enough and pushes the red stone right through. And over on sheet A, Germany, Scotland. Germany leading 1-0. A nice steal for them in the first end. Eve Muirhead with another chance to draw the 4 foot and try and take the lead for the first time in the game. Supers, Claire Hamilton and Vicky Adams look pretty happy with this one. Just keeping it clean all the way down. And just sits on the tee line. So a score of 2 for Scotland. They now lead 2-1 after 2 ends.
Could well be a bit of a key game this week for Scotland. They won't want Andrea Schopp's German side to slip 2 wins ahead of them in the standings. It would be a little bit of a waste after a really solid performance against Canada last night to go and lose both their games today. Very tough start this week for the Scottish. Back in our featured game, the guard's off here, and the Latvian third is going to split the rings here to lie 3. Eva Krista. Actually choosing to play the freeze here.
Yes, this is some good play from Latvia. They've got a few stones in play in this end. Just from getting one corner guard. They sit 3. So Ishikawa for Japan will be looking to at least remove 2 of them. And no problem with that one. And I think possibly set short as well.
Well, Kenny Ishikawa, maybe a little one, but she can pack some heat. Big weight on that takeout. Hits that second one almost on the nose and still manages to roll it out of there.
So this time hitting and rolling right across, putting them pretty close together, making the double relatively easy. You've seen in the first end that Latvia employed the freeze tap back tactic. I think I might have been tempted to go for the same there.
Yeah, these yellow stones far too close together and should be a straightforward double here for Fujisawa. And I don't think I've managed to remove the yellow at all. So, good chance to get some good separation between the 2 stones.
Par to līniju atkal nav. Es zinu, jā, bet man jau nav variantu. Jā, protams. 6 tu domā? Līdz 65.
So once again, a chance here for Latvia to split the rings. I feel that they probably deserve a multiple score in this end. This definitely has been their best end of the match so far. The Latvians, skips draw away, hasn't quite been there so far in this game, so it's maybe not a formality at this point.
So will this one pull up in time? They do have a little bit of back end though.
And a super draw there. Maybe one of those ones you'd actually prefer stay higher in the house. They do have a little bit of a pocket they could roll towards, and you've seen this Japanese team can throw it hard.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we're looking at maybe playing the freeze. No, you've got to throw the hip with this one. So looking for a hit and roll across to the opposite side. All they've got to do is really make contact with the yellow. And will it hang around? Just it does. And I'm sure it will sit short, but it does leave a big pocket for Latvia to crash into. Relatively easy shot to pick up two.
Ja 9 nebūs pa šauru.
Tu domā, vai 9 nebūs pa stipri?
Pa šauru.
Šauru, nē.
Jo mums vajag pieri. Jā. Mums faktiski nevajag, lai viņš saka.
Well, one thing that Stassis Arsuna definitely needs to know here is that can probably afford to hit it on the left-hand side as we look at it and roll into the backing. So absolutely no prizes for hitting this on the other side of the stone. So here it is, the final stone of the third end. Stassis Arsuna with a golden chance. Looks like it's going to be a job well done. Doesn't even need the extra help that other red was giving. And it's a score of 2 in the third end. The home nation are on the board here in draw 5. And Latvia trail Japan by 4 shots to 2 going into the fourth end.
So into the fourth end, Japan leading 4-2 over the host nation Latvia. Latvia needing to do something pretty special to get back in the game. Japan do have last stone here in the fourth.
Well, again, Japan drifting back off the tee line. How important is that first stone of the end, Kenny?
Yeah, it's always important. You can control and dictate the end if you with stone positioning with your leads. You see Dace Munchia for Latvia, 80% in the tournament so far, so that's pretty steady. Wouldn't like to be below 80% as a lead.
Well, I don't think they've quite covered the inside edge of this yellow. Should be a reasonably straightforward takeout here for Shimizu.
The sweepers are going to have to go hard to get it past the high guard. guard wasn't really in play, and to knock it into the rings is a complete disaster. So Japan need to keep their concentration.
We're just going to nip over to Sheet B, Sweden and the United States. Maria Pritz, final stone, trailing by 1 shot to 0. Working hard with the brushes here. How does it look? Hits and rolls in. Will be 2, and I can tell you, interestingly, there was supposed to be a measure for 3, but the Americans kicked away the 3rd shot stone before it could be measured, and therefore it didn't need to be measured. So it was 3 for Sweden, and after 2 ends, Sweden lead there by 3 shots to 1. So going for the run back here. Even if they could chip it onto something else in the house, did really well to get that one across the top.
Yeah, a little thinner than they would have liked. So Japan just need to settle down and concentrate. Can't afford to take their foot off the gas.
Here's Zanda Bikse playing. Curling. Going for a tight guard here. I think it said 74%. We can check that one.
Yeah, so I think that one slipped a little bit too far. I think maybe we'd have looked for that one 2 or 3 feet short of the house. I think you can spray at least 2 of them off and maybe roll to the left as we look at the overhead there. Maybe in behind the tight sort of corner guard that's in play.
My apologies. Zanda Bikse actually playing 76% for the first 2 games. Here's Emi Shimizu. Won the ball this time, 74% after their first 2 games.
Oh, that's a great shot.
Well, still some yellow counters lying around the outskirts of the rings. Okay, just throwing it a little bit harder. Could have got 3 of them moving if they hit that same place. It must be said, Latvia, although they do have the chance to lie 4 here, none of them really in threatening positions to the Japanese. Eva Krusta playing 79% so far this week. Super hit and roll to lie 4. Well, it's kind of a bit of a strange one at the moment. It's Japan won't be too happy to be lying 4 against, but as I said, there's none of these really in a threatening position. Mio Ichikawa playing 78%. There may be some value in throwing a freeze here at some point on that stone at the back of the 4-foot, Kenny.
Yeah, you could have, but I think you just got to remove something. Keep the 4-foot area nice and clear, so that if you do need to score 1, you have an easy chance to come down and draw the 4-foot. by playing that hit and run there, it puts two close together, so if they could hit and maybe get in behind the yellow, they might get a chance for two, but what they could do is maybe just play the double on the nose. And this one will need to curl a long way if it's going to catch anything at all. It does just do enough.
Yeah, so the key really for the moment for the Latvians is just to keep separation between their stones, really. Don't want to roll over and create any pockets or double takeouts or anything like that. Just keep the stones spread out and make Japan face as many as you can with the last one. Stasas Arsuna only playing 73% for the tournament. Probably playing a bit less than that so far today. Big brush here to try and hold the shooter, and they will not be able to do so. Rolls out of the rings, but Latvia still lying 3. Well, I think there's a great chance to freeze now. There's nothing on the centre line bothering them. Another option, you could try and play a hit and roll in behind the wide yellow. Looks like they will go for the takeout option. Fujisawa playing 76%.
So a nice hit and roll. That's all you need.
That's an absolute pistol from Fujisawa. Almost looks embarrassed when she plays a good shot. Well, that one will get you thinking. Maybe see a little piece on the outside. So do you freeze or do you try some sort of takeout?
So attempting to come around the high side, just pick it clean, or?
I don't think she must be. Not taking a lot of ice, so I don't think they're trying for a hit and stick. You can only see maybe a quarter stone here. Could play the freeze here. Certainly maybe a little bit more room for error playing the in-turn drop. So you see just a fraction being seen from the hack. But drawing probably hasn't really been Stasas Arsuna's friend so far today.
And I think they've managed to get past the high yellow, and they've caught a piece of the red, so do remove it. So I think we'll just see Japan ignore the 2 yellows and draw the 12-foot for the single. So Japan and Fujisawa trying to get fully 12 to score a single point. And a perfect throw from the skipper. Throws that one right down onto the button, and single point. And they will now lead 5 shots to 2. So here we are in the Volvo Sports Centre, Riga, Latvia, for the Titlis Glacier Mountain, the World Women's Curling Championships 2013. Round robin game between Japan and Latvia. 5-2 Japan lead. And I think we'll see Latvia trying to throw the guards. Japan will probably try and pull the play into the house now. They've got a 3-shot advantage.
Well, I think we've seen from the Latvians what their preference is to play in the house. They've not been particularly favouring to throw guard after guard after guard, trying to generate something to hide behind. But they've got a corner guard up here, and maybe they can bring that into play later on. But Latvia very content to try and freeze on anything back of the tee line. So that'll be something for the Japanese to watch out. Okay, so just as this one pulls up short of the rings, we're going to take a little sneaky peek back over at Sweden and the USA. Sweden, we just saw them take 3 in the second end. And here's Erica Brown. Not been at her brilliant best so far this week. See how she gets on this time. Well, looks like a couple of reds lying shot for Sweden. She's going to squeeze one through the gap. And it will stop in the 4-foot circle. A score of 1 for the US in the third end, and they will trail Sweden by 3 shots to 2.
Yeah, so this is where we're going to see Japan just peel the guards off. They're not going to mess around. So it does make contact with it, but doesn't roll the shooter. I think they're really trying to run back. So I think with that shot, you just play it high and hard and tear it right off. Alexander Bikshi trying to draw around. 2 stones short of the rings. And the Cardinal Sin just throws that one right through.
Yeah, disappointing when a stone disappears through and you've not given the sweepers any chance to have effect. Shimizu comes down onto the beak. Still a nice chance here for Latvia to get the play going around that corner guard and generate a multiple score to go into the half time.
So again, Bikshi trying to come around the guards. I think this time they're trying to use the red.
Scotland managing to steal 2 in the third end to take a 4-1 advantage. And here's the last stone of the fourth. Andrea Schupp. Looking pretty good. Sloan waiting in the tee line, but she's not going to get a go at this one.
Oh, have they managed to remove it? They haven't. They're going to roll out themselves, are they? Might just be grabbing on. This is Ishikawa for Japan. Can't really afford to slip through with this one. If the yellow is counting, sweepers are backed right off this one. And it will slip through. Slight mistake. So I think Latvians do have a chance here to pick up at least a couple.
Really like this call here from the Latvians, choosing to ignore that red stone at the edge of the 8 foot and tuck another one in behind there. So at the moment Latvia lying first and third.
Yeah, would you be tempted maybe just to come down and take a fly run at that, or would you be playing the freeze?
Yeah, I think there's probably a piece being seen from the hack there, so they could certainly have play a takeout. Maybe don't need to play the double. Here's Canada, Denmark. Canada leading by 3 shots to 2, and here's Lena Nielsen with the final stone of the 4th end.
Attempting a double takeout on 2 red stones in the forefoot.
Doesn't manage to stick it, but good enough to remove one of those red stones, and Canada, after losing 2 in the first end, 4-shot run for Canada in the 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and they lead by 4 shots to 2.
Well, we said throw the hit. And if you can play a freeze like that, Logan, there's no need. She's delighted with that one.
Okay, I think we both know if we were throwing that freeze, it would probably be in the hack right now.
Certainly yours would be. So. Still a chance though for Latvia. If they could come down, just maybe freeze on to the red behind, and should skip Fujisawa, roll off it. It might be a nose hit for 2, maybe a double for 3. So, hand signals all round. This one maybe got a bit too much weight in it. But it is coming down the hill now. Will it catch a piece of the red? It does. And what that does, it means that should Japan remove the yellow, they would sit possibly 2 or 3.
Yeah, pretty much. With that bounce off there, they lose any opportunity to make a multiple score here in the 5th end without some sort of Japanese disaster. So just a straightforward hit required here from Fujisawa. Probably want to spread the red stones out a little bit. Rolls into the back red, but at least leaves a gap if Stasa Sarsuna is ever to be heavy with her last drop. Okay, so final stone of the first half of this draw 5 encounter, and the Latvian skip will have to draw a little bit more than fully in the 8 foot to score 1 here in the 5th end. There's definitely chances here to get a multiple score, but just couldn't quite get their stones in the right spots. And a super freeze from Fujisawa, cancelling out that wide yellow behind the corner. So Stasa Sarsuna has not been too hot on the draws today, but she'll need to be good this time.
Yeah, they have the persuaders out on this one. And is it going to be enough?
Well, super sweeping, but only good enough to cut them down to one. It's going to be one red here for Japan, and they're going to move a little bit further ahead of the home nation. So yeah, another draw coming up short. Maybe that's slow. Maybe that number 8 stone's just a little bit slow. So 5 ends played here, and Japan are going to be leading Latvia by 6 shots to 2.
So N2, Japan sitting 3, Latvia being forced to try and draw for a single shot. Super's done all they could, but that one just pulls up short of the house, and a big 3 for Japan. Third end, some nice play from Team Latvia, set up the opportunity to play a tap back 4-2. Skip throwed it well, and there you see it, 2 on the board, 4-2 after 3 ends. Fourth end, Japan facing 2, but only having to get a piece of the 12 foot, so electing to play the draw and skip. Fujisawa draws the button, so through 5, it's Japan leading 6-2. Over on sheet B, Sweden, USA, 5th end. Sweden facing 1. Maria Pritt looking for the nose hit. She certainly is pretty prolific at the takeouts. Once again, noses this one. And it will hang around, and there will be a score of 2. They lead that one 5 shots to 2. Elsewhere, you see Germany trailing Scotland 4-2. And Canada leading 4-2 on sheet C.
Or a steal, but not crazy for a steal. If we can make it 2 now. But if we really have to steal, then we play long cards.
So we take a look at the stats between Japan and Latvia. Score 6-2 in Japan's favour. Percentages pretty even. I think the story of the that chart would be the draws. Japan got to really get the stone position a lot better than the Latvians. You'd see down at 62%. So stolen points 4 for Japan. It was a big 3 in the second end, and another steal in the fifth. So the team's just about ready to get underway in the sixth end. We are here in the Volvo Sports Centre, Riga, Latvia, for the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships. So, surprisingly, Japan throwing up a centre guard. Would have liked that one top of the forefoot. Dace Muncha, game accuracy 90%. Well, starting the ends pretty well, but just not finishing the ends off at all. Our team Latvia. So another nice corner guard. So Matsumura, only 71%. And this one slipping back tee, won't hang around at all. And that one looks at maybe just grabs the back of the 12. So just needs to concentrate. A couple of slack shots here and there has put her team in a little bit of trouble. So they failed to do enough, but they do have a double corner guard now, so it'll be hard to peel both of them out of play. As we nip over to Shide, and you see one red German rock in behind the corner guard, and Scotland's Eve Muirhead going to try and take it out. Good chance to score a couple here. But that one's just going over curl. Jam on the back one. So it's only a single. So they now lead 5-2 through 5 ends.
So Latvia with it all to do here, and Sander Beekshire is going to have to play a little bit better than 60% to turn this one around. He needs to set the team up a little bit better. Well, there's probably a few more stones in play than Japan would like at the moment. And this call goes into the complete and utter lunacy category for me, I'm afraid. 4 shots up. Emi Shimizu only playing 61%. But there's nothing in front of the tee line. There's a centre guard on, you're 4 shots up. Well, I just don't think that they should be putting extra guards up or extra stones in play. They could really start peeling here. Shimizu wrecking on that high guard there. And that's getting pretty messy already in this end.
Yeah, it's they called a centre guard with the first one, which is quite bizarre. So they've contributed to their own undoing here.
A great chance here for Big Shea to make the in-turn draw and generate some sort of offense. We would ideally like to start getting things around the corner guards at some point.
So they do make this one round, pretty much fully buried.
A super draw here. Now all of a sudden Japan in some big trouble.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to throw the heat to double rip the 2 red guards. You don't make this come around tap back perfect, you will be in a world of pain.
Okay, so often we talk about the Asian teams being so good with the technique, but still very much in their infancy when it comes to tactical decisions. They are improving all the time, but kind of the countries that you expect to see time and time again at these championships, the European ones, the North American ones, usually just do that, have that tactical edge on the Pacific teams. And this is just a disastrous shot. Ichikawa pushing another yellow in there, and Latvia all of a sudden lying 3 with the hammer, and loads of guards to be used.
I think Latvia, I can't believe, I think all their Christmases came at once there.
Well, I think you've got to say that Latvia really need to see this as a huge opportunity to get back into the game. And because of that, they're going to have a team meeting here. Yeah, this is a real key moment in the whole game for Latvia. Really got to make sure they get a multiple score out of this. So timeout called.
Tas, ka viņi sitīs to, piemēram, aizmugurējo, ja viņa nav tuvāk par šiem 2, ja. Bet padot atkal.
And Nicole Strozak will make her way down.
Tāpēc mums svarīgi būt šeit What do you think? Maybe we can go there, not to let they play.
Use these reds.
Could we also split the one we played before, number 4?
This? So you mean this way?
No.
So the 4 stone. Yeah. And this goes here.
A bit more to the side.
Yeah.
That would be an option, or a guard. Or a guard in the middle.
Guard.
If you don't want to play a guard, I think I would play the split from the outside.
From this? No.
No, šitās puses.
Quite straight outside.
we have to wait until it will pass. Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. Viņam baigām ilgi.
Jā, bet tad mums jāiet, kad viņš iet šeit un šis ceturtais iet uz šeit.
Yeah, so Logan, I think maybe just throw this one top of the 8 foot, round in behind.
Yeah, absolutely. If they could get down there and freeze on that stone at the top of the 4 foot, that would really put them in a strong position here. Don't know exactly what they've called here. I was kind of watching the brush actions and the general chat. I think they were maybe talking about splitting the stone at the edge of the 4 foot to try and push both yellows behind cover. Only problem with that is you are going to be pushing yellow stones back of the tee line, and at this point Japan could be forced into play a freeze to try and get out of this situation. So you do want to try and keep your stones in front of the tee. You have a Krusta playing 68% after 5 ends. And this could be the most important shot of the game for her. Actually, coming to the face of that Yellowstone, we talked about freezing, and pushes it back at the tee line. Really, I think the shooter finishing in the right spot there, but don't want to be pushing stones back at the tee line. Those are, at the moment, stones that are going to help Japan get out of this mess. But I think one thing that I did take from Nicole Strauzak's time out was that it wasn't a good time to throw a guard. It just gives more things for Japan to hide behind, and they want to make sure that they've got an opportunity to get stones in there to score 2.
So Japan trying to play the takeout on the high one, and that red was going to go down into the 8 foot, but it was kicked by Matsumura, which prevented it. So
yeah, that's 2 stones that have been kicked in this end, Kenny. I think trying to make some adjustments to the rules or something around here.
So Latvia sitting 4, the trail by 4, looking pretty good to get themselves right back in the game.
The question is, where do you put this one? Maybe somewhere in the front ring?
Anywhere you're just tight to the house, make a nuisance of yourself.
Yeah, I think they need to cover the hit and roll on this yellow at the edge of the 4 foot. Kind of difficult to find a spot here that doesn't leave some sort of multiple takeout for Japan. But definitely an end to forget for Mio Ichikawa.
So, leave it Krusta for Latvia. Don't want to leave this too long, Logan, because I leave cover for Japan. This is why they're bringing this one right down in. I'd like to sit to the right ever so slightly. Does leave a chance for Japan to hit and check in. I wouldn't be playing big weight at this. I think you'd play a controlled takeout weight.
Well, I was just thinking that, Kenny. If you play a takeout here, and if you ever hit this yellow high of the nose, it's going to drive yellow, yellow, and then you're going to lose the red at the front, and Latvia will be drawing to lie 6. So, definitely caution required here for Fujisawa. Fujisawa playing 83% today. One of the things working in Japan's favour here is that there is a bit of a stagger on those 2 yellow stones in the centre line, so if they could hide one in there somewhere, it would be difficult to get it out. Just flicks the top one, just the faintest of touches.
Yeah, probably done them a favour, Logan, if that had hit and run through. Would have been a nice opportunity for Latvia just to throw a top 12 guard, really, and block the route in.
Varbūt no šitās puses mēģinām.
Tas ir riskantāk, tur ir jāpaiet garām. Mums vajag, lai pārkrīt.
Okay.
So be a hit and roll in behind for Latvia. Again, I don't think I'd be playing too much weight of this. You probably get away with playing sort of controlled takeout weight. Just inside the nose. Even if you do nose it, the red will go back onto the yellow. Take the other two reds out of play.
Okay, so Stasa Sarsuna only playing 51% so far today. Huge opportunity here. Seen a few stones over curl down this line. See if the Latvian skips learned.
Hasn't thrown the weight at this one, Logan. Just didn't throw the weight.
Well, I think she's maybe done enough to lie 3, but could well be a freeze opportunity. Just too soft once again. So there's definitely a chance just to come down here. I don't know if the freeze is available because of the high guards, but just need to come down and get to the inside of that yellow stone and roll over, and it's quite a nice little pocket to sit in front of.
Would you be tempted maybe to play the bat ring weight, come down, chip the yellow that's back of the 4 and roll away to the right as we look at that shot, to the face of the red, and sit one against and maybe just give up your 2, take your medicine in this end?
Yeah, well, I think it can just rub off the inside of that yellow stone to the back of the 4-foot and be in a pretty good spot. If you could get over the other side of the centre line as well, it'd be even better. It'd be maybe take away the double raise on the centre line. So certainly some options here for Fujisawa. I don't think it's going to be available there just for the freeze, so they will need to play a little bit of weight just to hold the line straight to get through this port.
Yeah, corner freeze on the inside would be really nice. But a disastrous slip from Matsumura has once again kicked the stone.
That's a real shame. Right now, that was unexpected. And Latvia just trying to work the situation out here. We're going to get a little relook at it. Fujisawa finding it pretty funny. I'm not sure I would.
I certainly wouldn't be finding it funny. I think just a lapse of concentration, and that's
just a bit casual with the footwork.
I think Japan have just taken their feet off the gas, really.
Well, certainly getting a few looks at this one. I don't think she can quite believe it. So, game on. Latvia drawing for a possible score of 4 here in the 6th end. Kenny disagrees. He thinks it's maybe just for 3. I think it's maybe for 4.
It's very tight.
I'm pretty sure if Latvia thought that they weren't line 3rd shot, they might be coming around the corner guard and trying to push that back a little bit. So We're giving them the benefit of the doubt here.
And this one looking pretty good.
It's a super draw here by the Latvian skip. Comes down, gets the angle. And how many is it? Well, I reckon it must be 4. Game on here this evening in the Volvo Sports Centre. Just waiting for this one to go up on the scoreboard. And that's finally given this home crowd something to cheer about. Tie game here after 6 ends. It's 6 each. Welcome back to the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships 2013. A 4-ball in the 6th end for Latvia. Ties the game up at 6. In our featured game between Latvia and Japan. Draw 5 here in the Volvo Sports Centre in Riga, Latvia. Chiaki Matsumura trying to come around the centre guard here. And Kenny, last night we saw a tumble on this sheet from Alison Krevizuk, costing a score of 1 for the Canadian team. How do you think Matsumura will respond to that setback?
Well, I think you've just got to settle down. You do have last stone advantage. You are tied. I think you just got to concentrate, and I think that's really what's been the difference. Japan have taken their foot off the gas. They did get 2 or 3 ahead, and just let again, tactically very naive, throwing centre guards when you're 4 up. Really not best practice.
Well, certainly the alarm bells were ringing for us pretty early on in that end. So I would like to see the Japanese just keep their pace of play up a little bit here. They're getting ground to a stop a little bit. Well, I'm just looking at the clock here, and Latvia are pretty short of time, it must be said. Only 25 minutes to play the last 4 ends. Normally account for around 7 minutes an end. They have used their 1 timeout as well. Sorry, coach interaction.
Yeah, no timeouts allowed anymore. I certainly think it's something that should be thrown out of the game. If you've got 4 people on the ice, they should know exactly what to do. You don't need a coach to come down from the bench to tell them what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you at all on that one, Kenny. Do you think there's any place for them at junior level?
I don't either, no, and you'll never learn. I think you do learn. All these teams have got coaches, they have cameras recording each of the games. They'll have a debrief, so I don't see the place for it.
Okay. Well, Sheet C is the place for Canada and Denmark. And Canada leading 5-2 at the halftime break. Here's Lena Nielsen. Gone 5 shots unanswered, have Canada. And Lena Nielsen's going to have to make a little bit more of a roll there to score. It's going to be a steal of one once again, and that's 6 shots in a row for Canada. 6 ends played there on sheet C, and Canada leading Denmark by 6 shots to 2. Glacier played a couple of nice draws to set up the last end. Going after the freeze here. Trying to hook one right around everything and does a pretty good job. Glacier maybe could have used the brushes at the end there just to drag it over in behind that stone at the top of the 8 foot. She's right at the end here where you can get the absolute maximum amount of curl by sweeping, and they seemed quite content just to let that one stop. They maybe could have swept that a little bit to just get it fully hidden.
Yeah, so Japan just going to try and follow it. The line on this one's a little high. It does pull up in time though, so nice position. But they are back of tee. And I'd like to be a fly in the wall after this game with the coach. See what is said to Matsumura. Twice or thrice hitting stones with her feet. Does enough. So things are beginning to go Latvia's way here in this second half.
Yeah, they certainly have, Kenny. I don't really know why they weren't sweeping that to try and hold it to the nose and chip it back, but well skipped in the end by Stasys Harsuna. So Mia Ichikawa had a 6th end to forget. It's a real test of your mental strength when you suffer an end like that. Just try and put it behind you and bounce back in the next end and make some good shots, get some confidence going. And this looks like a pretty good shot here. Can they get just to the inside of the nose? Oh, they certainly can. Great shot there by Ichikawa. Okay, so a nose tap back here required. Tricky little shot here, but we have had a few stones down this path now. Should know it pretty well.
Yeah, the line's looking pretty good in this one. So's the weight.
Guide them, guide them, guide them, guide them.
Doesn't get enough of the inside nose, but perhaps good enough to lie 1, maybe even 2.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Just missed that back yellow. Again, probably should have been sweeping that one a little bit to keep it high. To make sure it missed the back yellow, but judged it perfectly.
So same shot again from Ichikawa.
Super's having to go on this one to get it past the top guard. And that little shave on the front red straightened it up.
Yeah, they seem to be using that one pretty well at the front of the 8 foot. And here we are back over on sheet B. Sweden undefeated so far this week, taking on the US on a 1-1 record. Sweden leading by 5 shots to 4 here in the 6th end. And Maria Prutz possibly the longest line call in history there from Margareta Sigfridsson. Doesn't manage to make the double for the big score, but will be good enough to score 1. And 6 ends played there. Sweden 6, USA 4.
Taču var būt 3, 4.
8. 8.
Līnija galvenais.
8.
So Latvia looking just to come down and freeze the top of this red Japanese stone. Has it got the weight, Logan? I don't know if it has. It's going to pull up short. I think they could probably come round on the out turn and tap that red full in the face to sit 2.
Well, the other option could be to come around the in-turn side, Kenny, and give yourself options down there. So I don't think they can get to the nose and do enough to lie to on that out-turn hand. They may well have to make a play on the in-turn here. Well, the key here for Fujisawa is not to be heavy. They can't afford to come down onto that back yellow at the back of the 4 foot. It will open up a freeze for Latvia, and it could be really difficult to get it out, so really need to throw this one to the sweepers.
Has been pretty good with the draw weight though.
Well, I would say this is a path that really hasn't been played too much in this game. Comes up a bit short, over curls. Now, what do Latvia have? So, looking at the same draw. Certainly a bit more exciting end than we've seen in the first half. 6th end as well was certainly pretty chaotic.
Jā. 7. Baigi plats, nekas tik plats nav mests.
Cik?
7.
Baigi tur baltajā ies. Ies iekšā baltajā. 7.
Instructions given. And it's away.
This one is quite far out. I think we'll need to go if we're going to get this one right down in.
Yeah, I think they'll maybe have learned a little bit from Fujisawa's, but not enough weight again with that number 8 stone. Just wonder if it is a little bit slow. So it will be a draw for 2 for Japan. And a final score between Scotland and Germany on the end sheet. A crucial victory early in this round robin for Scotland, and they will take down Germany by 9 shots to 2. Well, Japan needing to have another look at this one. Perhaps looking at the lineup on these front stones. Still don't think they're going to score more than 2 out of it. But perhaps just satisfying her own curiosity here.
Yeah, just looking at the clock. Japan have got plenty of time. They have 27 minutes. And Latvia only have 18, so. I think Latvia still should be okay with 18 minutes.
Well, there's certainly not too much time for dithering though. You'd hope that they can maybe play a quick end at some point and run a few stones through. So, after a little bit of deliberation, Fujisawa satisfying herself that the in-turn draw is the best option. And hopefully taking a little bit more ice than the last one. Really seems to curl hard coming off this kind of inside of the sheet. Doesn't look a million miles away here. Can the supers get it there though? It's got the line.
Looks pretty good.
Oh, super draw here. Fujisawa pulls it out the bag. And it will be a score of 2 in the 7th end. Great bounce back by Japan. And we've got a high scoring game on our hands here. 7 ends played. And it's Japan 8, Latvia 6. Well, the momentum just keeps swinging back and forth in this game. Japan and Latvia just really going toe to toe this evening. 8 shots to 6 for Japan. And a super top 4 draw by Matsumura. I think that's the great thing about the Japanese team's attitude, Kenny, is they also had a bit of a nightmare in the 6th end. A bit of a catastrophe when Matsumura fell over. but they've got that laid-back, cool attitude that they can just shake it off and just have a little laugh about it, and then get back in there in the next end and pull out the 2 in the 7th end.
Yeah, certainly the European way, and certainly my way was to probably lose the rag and unsettle myself for a couple ends. But Japanese seem to be able to control their emotions.
Matsumura being outplayed at the moment. 68% plays the Latvians 80.
That's probably a true reflection.
Perhaps a little bit longer than I would have liked. That stone only just halfway up the free guard zone. And maybe Latvia could even just come down and bump this red stone back, keep the scoring area open. Doesn't want to chip the guard here. Just flicks it and rolls over. Doesn't really move the guard over far enough to make it worthwhile. So 2 shots up, and we're getting double centre guards, Kenny. As we see, final score just next door. Canada taking down Denmark with a very impressive performance. Losing 2 in the first end and then reeling off 8 shots over the next 6 ends. Canada starting to gain some momentum. 2 wins and 1 loss. And Denmark will drift to 1 win and 2 losses after beating China in the first game.
Yeah, this is where Japan are really naive. There's no need for them to get involved here in this 8th end. Why are they throwing more cover? And get lucky really by chipping that one onto the centre line.
Well, it was actually good skipping there by Fujisawa. She called that one early to sweep it down there and push that one onto the centre. Shimizu and Bikshe. Shimizu only playing 56% against Bikshe's 64. Bit of a mess at second.
Yeah, Bikshe really struggled with her weight control. But manages to get through the gap there. And again struggled with weight, didn't play enough weight to get it past and out of the rings. Does stick around the back 12 foot.
Well, you still feel, Kenny, that this game could go anyway. Neither team really taking control in the second half following that fort. And this end could go either way as well. Double centre guards and double corners. Shimizu hits and rolls out. So, I don't really know what this call is. They're trying a tick shot, Kenny? Strange time for a tick shot.
I think so.
Well, I'm baffled by what just happened. If they were trying a tick shot, try and get in behind the corner guard, why were they not sweeping? And if they were playing the peel, then maybe they want to throw a bit more than hack weight. So, well.
Complete mess here in this 8th end. Japan being drawn into the way the Latvians play the game. It's very unorthodox.
Well, that's a nice draw by Ichikawa. That guard's really quite long though, and you see only at best gets edge to edge with the guard on that draw.
And again, they won't get in behind, but they do take the double on the back ones. So we've got either way to roll with this one. And you've got to feel the team that makes the roll first in this end will probably end up scoring.
Here see the matchup at third. Krusta outplaying Ichikawa. 70% plays 61. So no real pattern to the stats. Both teams beating each other at each position. This one's going to over curl and roll out. Okay, so we're going to bring the corner guards into play. We've got triple guard over here in the corner.
Passing the corner guards by a long way. And will it hack around? It won't.
Good sweeping by Fujisawa to push that one through. Muscles that one home. Okay, so maybe Fujisawa and her Japanese team might still be able to get the force on this end. So many errors from both sides.
I think this is intelligent to go around the red guards rather than the yellows. They go around the yellows. Latvia might get lucky by catching the yellow onto yellow, pushing something in the rings, rolling the shooter as well, and maybe getting something larger than a one out of the end. So definitely drawing the right way.
Don't really want to show a piece on the centre line side. They'd probably prefer over curl a little bit here.
So this one needs to sit down. That will pull up. Just shy of the back of the house.
Meanwhile, on sheet B, Sweden and USA, that's Debbie McCormick holding the brush. And Erica Brown to play. Trailing USA by 6 shots to 4. Not too much sweeping calls going on anyway. And that was actually a nose hit to score 2. Hits and rolls out of the rings, and it will only be one missed opportunity there for USA. And going into the 8th end, they'll trail Sweden by 6 shots to 5.
So this one looking pretty wide for line. And does sit shot though. So it does ask the question. I'll skip Fujiwara.
Varbūt ej uz to galu, tu zinās, kur palikt?
Tu man pakoriģēsi vajadzēs.
can't really afford to come down and bounce off of this at all. So it needs to be pretty controlled. I think you see Fujisawa 91% and only 56 on hits. I think we know what shot she favours.
Yep, certainly wouldn't expect her to be too far away with this one. Really isn't too tough a shot at all. Wants to get right down back there. And this one's in danger of over curling.
And it does over curl. Would it be better leaving that?
Perfect weight there from Fujisawa. Latvia aren't messing around here. They know that their clock's ticking. And sometimes when you just run a little bit low on time, start to get a little bit of adrenaline going, start rushing, you can actually miss some shots. And we're out to sweep this stone again. Big effort from the Latvian front end, and they seem to have this one under control. So somehow Latvia have scored a deuce in the 8th end. A skips 2, and once again it's a tie game. 8 ends played here, and it's Japan 8, Latvia 8. Some great entertainment this evening. Ninth end, and Latvia obviously feeling good for the steal in the 10th. They've thrown it top 4 here, and Japan knowing what they want to achieve from this end. They want a blank end. I think we'll see another effort at this centre guard. Yeah, I think it could just be down to rushing here that Latvia overthrowing some of these stones.
Yeah, so you see 12 minutes for Latvia. Should be enough.
Well, especially if they're going to keep throwing it in the house here in the, in the 9th end, Kenny. It's going to be a pretty quick end for everyone involved, so I'm just trying to make sure that they get through the 10 ends within their allotted time.
Chi for Latvia. And she hit and stay. She does this time. Struggled somewhat. Sweeper's backing off this one. She's going to catch any of it.
Catches a piece, but doesn't manage to stick the shooter. And hope that Latvia might think about throwing a centre guard here.
What about throwing it through and just running the clock down, Logan?
Oh, I think if you're going into the last end and your peel's without the hammer, then at the expense you might lose the game anyway, so you need to give yourself every chance. They're actually calling top of the forfeit. I wonder what Brian Gray on the bench thinks of all this. Maybe he thinks that they're just playing a quick end to give them some time to play the 10th. I'm not sure.
This one just coming down, well hit in the nose. So there is quite a lot of home support for Latvia here in the Volvo Sports Centre.
Kind of agree, Kenny. If they're just going to throw it top four, they might as well just throw it through the back and save themselves some time for the 7th end. If they're going to actually make a go of it and try and force the one, then let's throw some guards.
Yeah.
They can run this end through, and then it's no gimme for Fujisawa to make the nose to make the hit and roll out. There's a chance she can nose, and Latvia would be one down with. Now I've had pretty good hammer efficiency in this game, it's got to be said. Three times in 5 ends with the hammer they've had a multiple score.
Yeah, looking at this, Latvia's probably going to have around 9 minutes to play the final end, so that's more than enough.
That's it.
Well, 9th end's usually one of the most interesting ends in a tight game. Not this evening. Obviously decided that we've had enough entertainment over the last 3 ends that we just need a chance to catch our breath here in the 9th. And I'm sure there'll be lots of fun to be had in the 10th.
This one's down weight and then beginning to curl. And have they removed it? Just does enough. So get rather fortunate. So just throwing this one in.
Oh, immediately down with the brushes here.
Can't afford to be short of the rings.
Well, this really has served as a little bit of a breather for us. Pretty frantic during the 6th, 7th and 8th end. We're having a nice quiet 9th end before we go at it again in the 10th. Usually you would see the teams push really hard to try and get the force in the 9th end. Gives you just such a better chance to win the game than this position where you could go down the last end. Peels without. You much prefer be one up or one down. I'd like to make the hit and stick here. Plays a nice shot. So does the important thing after all that, and at least makes Fujisawa play a shot to blank the end. Not taking a massive amount of ice here. Could be hitting this one on either side. In the end, by Latvia, did say that the least they could do is actually force them to play a shot to blank. And it will be a score of 1 in the 9th end. Japan now leading Latvia by 9 shots to 8.
One for Japanese.
Welcome back to the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships, live from the Volvo Sports Centre, Riga, Latvia. Japan leading 9-8 over the host nation Latvia, and what can only be described as a very bizarre game, Logan. Japan getting off to a great start, and Latvia pegging them back.
Oh, you know what, Kenny, it's been a little bit of a comedy of errors in the second half here. But it certainly has been entertaining to watch. And Japan scoring 1 in the 9th end. Saw them do this earlier on today playing against Denmark, 1 up without the hammer, threw up the centre guard and managed to steal. So we'll see how this works out for them. I think, Kennedy, I might be wrong, but I think Latvia actually just called back at the 8 foot. I can see the Latvian skip tapping the brush there. So maybe we're trying out some new tactic.
I think Japan will just call for this one tight rather as into the house.
Yeah, they're definitely going all out here for the steal.
A good separation between the guards though. That's exactly where you want them.
Yeah, great setup play by the Japanese lead player. Quite possibly the setup that Latvia should have opted for in the 9th end when they were trying to force. I'll tell you what, the home crowd are getting their money's worth in here this evening. So it looks like a tick shot's maybe the call here. Pretty much stop trying to predict this game, Kenny.
I don't think you can predict it, Logan. Unorthodox is the word I would use.
I think the free guard zone's about to come into play here. Can Fujisawa get it through? Just.
I don't know if that's perfect repositioning of the stone, but that's what they've went for.
Yeah, I think Japan have done themselves a little bit of an injustice there, actually moving it further away from the centre line. Lead stone got them pretty well lined up. So now really a glorious chance here for Japan to really put the heat on Latvia. Latvia should have plenty of time now. They still have 6 minutes 40 left on their clock after a nice quick ninth end. So that one comes down in front of the T line.
Would you maybe be thinking about playing the intern draw, Logan, right around these? Rather than drive these back?
I'm just having a little think. It's not really a great spot, and they you do need to score 2 here to win the game outright. Don't really want to settle just to be forced to the 1. Intern draw is definitely an option, Kenny.
So looking to maybe call a guard. I don't think you're going to win the game with a stone that's just biting the 8-foot.
No, I think the tight guard's maybe not a bad call though, Kenny. Might force Latvia to peel the top one.
There isn't a curl to get around that. Fully buried into the 4-foot though.
I don't actually mind them just killing the back one. Just hit the back one and play it a little bit safe. They might have a better chance to get one in here.
I think that if you do hit the back one, Logan, they do play the come around, and then that's the game around the centre straight away. So, team discussion. They haven't called the coach interaction. They do have plenty of time in their hands at 11 minutes 46 seconds. So
what do you reckon, Kenny? Tap up?
I think I'd be tempted just to come around the centre guard into the 4-foot. There's enough swing there.
Well, the other good thing about coming around rather than playing tap, Kenny, is that you would lie too. Just come down and play the tap, then it's going to put that shooter stone just a stone higher than the red where it is at the moment, and that yellow stone would still lie second shot. Maybe we are going on to the back one here.
I think it's probably going to over curl, Logan.
Okay. So, tough to say who's lying second shot. Kenny thinks too. Yeah, I'd say you're maybe right, Kenny.
Yeah, so Just playing the hack weight, just trying to get the inside of nose and use that long centre guard. Big sheet. Been pretty good with this one. A nice hit and roll in behind. Taps the red to the back ring.
Yeah, super head and roll there by Big Sheet. Gets one in behind that red stone. And again, it would mean that if Fujisawa was to elect to hit that front red, then the back one could well come into maybe move up a place in the closest to the middle. So having a really good look at who's lying second and who's lying third shot. She reckons red.
Brave call going around the centre there.
Well, I think the problem with that, Kenny, is that it's such a long centre. It's basically not even there, it's that long. So probably a timeout called and overdue.
Yeah, I think he's really got to drive the red onto it, Logan.
Atomi Nagaka down here like a dog out the traps.
I think if you're going to play the drive back, you play a control weight. You don't throw big weight out. Even if you just nudge it back around hack, so you don't lose your shooter. I think that's the crucial thing. You can't afford to play the big weight and run out yourself.
Well, it's certainly advantage Latvia at the moment. I think they have to make a play on that red here, Kenny.
Yeah, definitely do.
A couple of options. They could run it, or they could sort of angle tap it onto the centre line and at least open up the shot stone. If they wanted to get a little bit creative.
So I think that's what they're going to do, is just put the hack weight tap on them.
I have no idea, Kenny.
You're not fluent in Japanese now?
Oh, sorry. It's probably still better than your English, though. Guess looks like just a T-weight, maybe just trying to tap freeze or even angle tap this behind the centre guard. Doesn't have a huge amount of running on it, but probably does enough to open up that shot stone. And here we have a 4-shot game here, Sweden and the USA. Erica Brown. Final stone of the 9th end. It's got a chance for a multiple score. And how does this one look? Makes no mistake this time, makes the hit and stick and scores 2. Unfortunately, they gave up 3 in the 8th end. And it's 9-7 there. Meanwhile, big mistake there by Krusta. Hits and rolls out and exposes those 2 yellow stones in the house.
Yeah, really needed to hang around with that. There's no need to play the up weight in that. Just push it through, sit, controlling the front of the 4-foot area. So a chance for Japan to take out the yellow that's got a piece of the 4-foot. Maybe even lift the 2 yellows out of play. Sticks it on the back and Maybe it looks like Latvia still sit one.
Well, actually, not that easy to find a spot here to lie to and not give a chance for a double. Well, I don't really know what to say about this one. Kenny?
Bizarre. I can't believe that was the shot they called.
Yeah, answers on a postcard, please.
Yeah, I've watched quite a lot of curling at World Championships, and I honestly can't believe that that was called there.
I think we could run a what happened next competition for the rest of the week, just in this game alone.
Yeah, so they just opened up the back one for Japan to try and force here in the 10 so that we get the last rock down the extra. So Brian Gray, the Latvian coach, is sitting back with his arms folded, shaking his head. I don't think he can believe that the skip called that. So Japan electing to hit and run, probably the sensible call.
Okay, well, the way this game's gone, Kenny, I wouldn't say it's quite over just yet. Latvia with a chance to come around and freeze this red.
Oh, there's a lot of curling left in this end, Logan.
I think Brian Gray is losing the will to live on the bench, I think. I hope the Latvian Federation's paying him handsomely. Aye. Yep, certainly lessons to be learned here, and all good experience for the Latvians.
Well, I think the Latvian coach might be getting his P45 actually, because he's also not taught them very much.
So Stasa Sarsuna with the in-turn draw, and it needs to be a good one to have a chance to score two.
So just looking for this in between the two reds. Could go real deep to the back of the 12 though.
Yeah, they could actually just hide one around this red, but they need to stay in short position.
And I think Japan will be sitting two, so I think the call would be just to put it on the tee line, opposite side. And they may be thinking centre line. I think I'd be electing to maybe to come across the centre line, get a piece of the forefoot, make it a little harder for Latvia to score the single point.
Well, I think that would be standard procedure, Kenny, but if there's one thing we've learned today, that Latvian skip's probably better on the takeouts than on the draws. Missed quite a few draws coming up short today, so maybe a good idea coming into the front ring.
Fujisawa for Japan. Been pretty good with her draws right through the game. So does put this on the centre line. Probably would have liked that maybe 2 or 3 feet further up.
Certainly got some nuisance value though, Kenny. Something else that Latvia will have to navigate with this final draw.
7-0, pilns Baltijā.
Jā, labs, smuks septītnieks.
Mierīgi. Mums ir 2 minūtes gandrīz, jā? Pilnu Baltijā.
So 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. So Latvia are going to complete this game in time. Some good quick play.
So needing to be half in the 8 foot.
Well, I wouldn't have said this one needs swept. Needing this one to rear up a little bit.
It's looking pretty good, the Logan.
Ichikawa is going to be on the tee line and sweeps this one right through the 8 foot. And pretty crazy game of curling. I don't think either team really deserved to win this one, but it's going to be Japan that puts a win on the board. And a good day for Japan, stealing the 10th end in both of their games to chalk up a couple of victories. Latvia will need to wait until tomorrow to try and get their first win.
Man liekas, ka jā, mēs izdarījām kļūdu, mēs noņēmām centra sargu.
So, Japan having a good day at the office. 2 wins.
離した瞬間に石が曲がるんだよね。やっぱリリースちょっと甘いかなって気するけど。
And you see it, 11-8. Final score. High scoring encounter. So 6th end, final stone for Team Japan. And then you see Matsumura, the lead, falling and taking the stone off course, so it has to be removed, leaving Latvia with a draw for 4. And no problem at all, that would tie the game up at 6 each. Seventh end. Skip Fujisawa needing a piece of the 1 foot, playing the in-turn draw. Really difficult shot. Great scrub by the front end. Gets this one right down onto the tee line, just curls enough, and they would take 2 to lead 8-6. Tenth and final end, Latvia facing 3 Japanese red rocks, needing to be half in the 8 foot, but there you see it. Just slipping through, and it will be a steal of 3 and another win for Japan. Japan winners 11-8 after 10 ends. So hopefully we'll be able to catch a few words with winning skip Fujiwara. And they will see other results this evening. Germany going down to Team Scotland 9-2. Sweden winning 9-8 over United States, and Canada giving up 2 in the first end but taking 8 shots in 6 ends to win 8-2. So here we see the standings. Sweden 3-0, Switzerland 3-0, Germany, Canada, Scotland, Russia, all with 2 wins. Then you see Japan also, 2 wins today on the board. Denmark, the US, only with a single. And Latvia, Italy and China all yet to get off the mark.
Congratulations. In the 6th end, you lost 4, you had some problems. Can you tell us how you turned the game around to win it?
あそこでこけて厳しい展開だったと思うけれども、どういうふうに逃げ切ったんですか？
そこはまあ4点取られてしまったんですけど、まだまだ同点だったので、まあ、気持ちを切り替えてすぐに逃げずに攻められて、まあ、展開的には2点取れたのですごく良かったです。
Okay, after we lost 4 points, but it was still even. So we talk each other. So let's change the mood and just to keep to play aggressively, and then afterwards we can get 2 points at the end. So it was really good.
Great. And what do you think your team's strengths are? Sorry, what do you think your team's strengths are?
What do you mean strengths?
It's like, what's your team good at?
あなたたちのチームの長所は何ですか？
そうです。常に攻めの気持ちを忘れずに、いつもアグレッシブに攻めていくことと、まあ、力強いスイープがあるので、それを信じて常に、まあ、攻めるスタイルっていうんですかを持ちながらやっています。
Always to play aggressively as well as the good sweep, powerful sweep. That's our goodness for the team.
Okay, good luck and arigato.
Thank you.
So that's all for this evening's coverage. So please join us tomorrow for more entertaining games in the Women's World Curling Championships 2013 from the Volvo Sports Centre, Riga, Latvia. So I've been Kenny Edwards and I've been joined by Logan Gray, and thanks for listening.